is how we like to communicate our thoughts and feelings, stories that can make you relate. And we talk to some cool people we met on the way. So thanks for tuning in. We hope that you like your stay.
Hey, I'm Hannah.
Hi, I'm Mel.
Hey, my name is KYRA.
And welcome to another episode of GIRLSTUFF podcast. Today we have our lovely friend KYRA joining us. You might have seen her on Julie and the Phantoms and more recently on Riverdale, and we will dive into so much detail in what she got to do on those shows, but also on a lot of other things. So KYRA, just before we start, can you give us a little introduction about yourself, what you do, just who you are?
My name is KYRA Larue. I'm an actress from Vancouver, Canada. I'm 18 years old. I just graduated high school in 2020 amidst a pandemic. I've been doing musical theater and acting and dancing and singing my entire life since I can remember, and I've always been really passionate about it. But I decided to take a gap year after high school to sort of really focus on acting. And it's worked out really well. I'm really passionate about it and I love what I do. So
it's always nice to love what I think, they always say if you love what you do, you're never actually working, and because it's just fun.
True.
Perfect. So what do you kind of like to do for fun? Like, you dance and you sing and you act, but when it's just you in your room hanging out, like what is it that you like to do?
Good question. Gosh, I love to watch movies and TV. That's sort of like an acting thing too. But yeah, me and my boyfriend watch a lot of movies. We're trying to watch all the Oscar movies before the Oscars. I don't know if we'll make it. We just watched Trial of the Chicago 7 and it was so good. We also have just started playing Minecraft with our best friend, and I was never like that, that girl that like was always playing Minecraft. But during this like quarantine, I've just become obsessed the last like 3 weeks. I can't stop playing Minecraft. It's the nerdiest thing ever. And also music. I love music.
Yeah.
I love singing, and I play guitar and piano. I was in band in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and reading. I love reading too.
Okay, so she's just multi-talented, I guess. She dabbles in everything. She dabbles everywhere. I feel the same way. I just found Animal Crossing on the Switch, and I have literally been playing it nonstop. And I'm like, I've never been the video game kind of person, but it's just like, oh, I have some time.
So addictive.
It really is.
And like, I just want to make all my home improvements. Like, I've got a panda, I've got bees. Like, it's the best thing ever.
I tried to get into Minecraft. That's the one I was like, I kind of get it, but I like the creator mode where you don't die when you meet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of shows and movies, we've talked about how you're trying to catch up with all the Oscar movies, but have there been any shows or movies that you've kind of like binged or rewatched over the last year?
So I'm almost done. We have 3 episodes left of New Girl. It's one of my favorite shows ever. And I've been rewatching it over quarantine. I also rewatched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is also one of my favorite shows of all time on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. That's like Rachel Brosnahan's character, Midge Maisel.
Okay.
That's like my dream role. Yeah, so that's a really cool show and they do it really well. What else? My favorite quarantine movie. I've been watching so many, so it's hard to choose, but my favorite quarantine movie that I've seen is probably The Sixth, actually. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's really good. I really enjoyed it, and like the kid who's in it, he's just amazing, and there's so many like plot twists. You're like, whoa.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah. And then obviously I watched The Queen's Gambit, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
That would also be a dream role. Also to play Anya Taylor-Joy's sister, because some people say I look like her. So.
Well, there you go.
You never know.
You never know.
Putting that out into the universe. Someone cast me as her sister one day.
Manifest it. Just manifest it into the world.
Manifest it. Exactly.
Perfect. Awesome. So before we kind of get into more of like the nitty-gritty details about your work and your roles in various shows and shows, both of them were shows. We're gonna play a game. The game is Song Association, and Mel will take it away from here.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
I'm basically gonna give you a word and you sing or say any lyric of any song that's the word in it.
Wait, am I supposed to like say the song, or do I just have to say any song that goes with like the word?
Any song. Basically, if, for example, the word mess, if I gave Hannah the word mess, Hannah, what would you do?
Oh, I'm a mess right now, inside out. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, so the first word is dance.
Just dance, it'll be okay. Donna did it, just dance. Spin that record, babe. Lady Gaga.
I love this already. Okay, the next word is home.
And we will come back home, and we will come back home again.
I'm loving these song choices.
I know, that's such a good song. I can't believe that's the one I thought of first. But anyway.
The next word is pretty.
Oh my goodness. Is there like a time limit? Why can't I? Should be
there's
such an easy one.
There's no time limit.
So just cut it all. So it's just like a really short time.
Exactly.
So it looks like I did it like right away.
Magic.
I don't want to sit still, look pretty. I don't know what you've been told, but this girl right here is gonna rule the world, and I'm never gonna be, cause I don't want to be. No, I don't want to sit still, look pretty. That's
Love
it.
Love it.
Next word is eyes.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what's the new Weekend song? In your eyes. I know it hurts to smile, but you try to. Oh, you try to. In your eyes.
Next word is down.
Down. Down, down.
Ooh, I've never
I don't
heard
know how
that song
that song
before,
goes.
but I love it. I love the sound of it.
It sounds legit.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll
There's a song. Are you down, 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 down. I don't know how the rest of it goes.
Good. The next word is kiss.
Kiss. One Last Kiss, One Direction. How does it go? Oh my gosh. Be your one last kiss. That's the song. I'm trying to think of how it goes.
Last first kiss.
Last First Kiss. Oh my gosh, yes.
You're good.
Last First Kiss.
You got it. You got it.
The next word is friend.
Friend. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Toy Story.
Yes. Let me see. The next word is smell.
Smell. Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. Smell. I smell.
I don't even know a song with smell in it.
I'm trying to think of one. I have no idea. I smell something. I honestly know.
I'm Googling.
Song with smell.
You can't Google it.
Let me Google it.
There must be some sort of song that's like a breakup song that's like the smell of your sweatshirt, something.
Something like that. Taylor Swift probably has one.
Oh, probably.
I Googled like songs containing the lyrics smell, and the only
wait, she has one. She has one.
Oh.
Oh my God, I'm thinking of a Taylor Swift song. The smell of rain on the pavement. You walk me to your car and you know I wanna ask you to dance right there in the middle of the parking lot. Yeah. Dee 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 dee.
Love it. I love it.
The next word is baby.
Baby, baby, baby. Oh, like
Okay. And the second to last word is hope.
hope. And then I hope she cheats like you did on me. I actually don't like listening to that song, to be honest. I just thought of it.
Okay.
But when that song comes on the radio, I change it because it just makes me feel so like icky. I'm like, oh my God,
Aw.
like I guess it means it's a good song that like she makes me feel that way when she sings
Yeah.
it. But I'm always just like, oh, like no.
There's a bunch
Ugh.
of songs that you just hear and you're like, next, skip, next radio station.
Yeah.
Your last word is party.
Party. Why is the first song that I thought of Girl Party by Mackenzie Ziegler? Do you remember that in Dance Moms? Na 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 na, it's a girl party, and it's like the slumber party, and they're all in their like cute like Justice pajamas and like
I
her pink
I
bedroom,
love that. You
like
know
the
what?
music video.
It totally suits. It totally suits the theme of this song association game. I think fantastic.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that's so
Fantastic
funny.
job. Awesome. So, as we stated before, Kira, you played Blue Dirty Candy. I don't know if she has a name. We were never actually sure if she did, but in Julie and the Phantoms. And most recently, you did play a character in Riverdale. And
Did.
we do want to kind of talk about the two shows and your kind of role and your experience in them. But before we talk about that, we kind of wanted to ask, like, what inspired you to begin acting and actually dive into this entertainment industry?
Well, when I was younger, like when I was really little, my mom was a dancer. So, she always knew she was going to put me in dance because she danced her whole life and she loved
Mhm,
it. So I've been dancing ever since I was like 3.
mhm,
Um, but then when I was little, like I just had such a huge personality and I was always like talking to everyone and performing and I would put on like little shows for like my family. Um and dance for them, and my mom was like, "Oh my God, like this kid needs to be in musical theater." Um, so I've sort of done it for as long as I can remember.
mhm.
I just love telling stories, and I mean, I think that stories sort of teach us about ourselves,
Yeah.
and sort of allow us to connect with a deeper part of ourselves. So when I got older, that's when I sort of really actually thought about why I liked it
Mhm.
and why I wanted to do it. So yeah, I think that's why. And I've also just always done it and always loved it. So it's sort of been a constant in my life.
Yeah. I love what you said, how you're able to tell a story through the character. And I think like one of the
Yeah.
best things is like actually connecting to a character that you see, whether it's a movie or a show. It's like you can find yourself in that person that you're seeing on your screen. And do you kind of
Totally.
have any secrets as to like how you get into the role of your character or the personality of your character?
Oh my goodness. So for bigger roles, well, for any acting roles where I'm
Mhm.
saying any speaking lines, I I do a lot of prep work. Like I I really take pride in the prep that I do, and I like to spend a lot of time just because I'm sort of a nerd like that.
Yeah.
But also because I just love learning the life of this character, right?
Yeah.
So for Britta, I got really into football. Like I watched a lot of football. I'd never been interested in football before. But I learned like all the rules. I learned all the positions. I like watched the games leading up to the Super Bowl and watched the Super Bowl, which I've never done before. I have a lot of like sort of questions about their life that I do, and I like to build in memories. So
Mhm.
there's, every person's got sort of core memories that lead to core beliefs about
Yeah.
the world around themselves and themselves in that world. And so yeah, that's something that I'm still learning about through my acting classes that I take. But I think really like developing the belief system of the character is really important, and
Yeah.
discovering sort of, okay, so what do they believe to be true?
Mhm.
Because then that sort of propels how you interact with people and who you are, if you have a certain set of beliefs that you
Yeah.
operate from.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love hearing kind of like, you might not get a backstory, but you create your own type of story to who the person is. And I think it kind of humanizes the character a
Totally.
little bit more too, because
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, creates more of a well-rounded character.
yeah, that's exciting. But like, that's for Britta. But so how, like, filming for Phantoms was definitely different, because you were just part of Dirty Candy really for
Yeah.
the show. So how does kind of the difference between having Britta as one of your roles, and then having Dirty Candy as another one, what was kind of the main difference between the two, and getting into the role itself?
For sure. So, I mean, with Julie and the Phantoms, we had a lot of rehearsals beforehand. And
Mhm.
actually, Julie and the Phantoms was the first and only straight dance job I've ever done. So, I'm primarily an actress and I auditioned for acting roles. Um, and Julie and the Phantoms was one of like the only dance auditions that I've ever done. Um, and I've done other roles that maybe I'll talk about later, where
Mhm.
I've gotten the role as an actress, and then I'm like dating as well as part of
Yeah.
the movie. But yeah, no, it was really exciting. I was actually really surprised when I booked Julie and the Phantoms, because I mean, I've been dancing my whole life, but it's just not my focus anymore.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so it's definitely different, like with Julie and the Phantoms, where we've got all of this rehearsal time that we're learning the choreography, that we're sort of, developing our world. And then um when you get on set, you just have to perform the choreography that you already know, right? Whereas I would say in an acting role, there's a lot more internal work that you need
Hmm.
to do, and
Hmm.
preparation. Like, I mean, even learning your lines, right? It's like learning your lines and learning choreography, I guess, is sort of the same, but there's a lot more prep you have to do yourself
Yeah.
beforehand
Yeah.
when you're acting. So
Well, and I'm also assuming like dancing's a lot easier. So for you to pick up a choreo, it might be a lot faster than learning a script, right? Because you've been dancing your whole life. So it's a bit easier to get into the dance mode rather than into acting mode.
yeah, I don't know. Um I stopped dancing, like I grew up competing and dancing like
Mhm.
20 hours a week. Like a lot of people who go to dance studios do, but I actually stopped in grade 8 so that I could
Okay.
start doing community theater around Vancouver. And so then in grade 9, when I was, I guess, how old are you? 14, 15.
Yeah.
My main focus became like acting and musical theater.
Mhm.
So I mean, learning choreography is definitely a muscle that you have to sort of practice to be really good at. And so, when I do have to pick up choreography, and I mean, I do take dance classes on my own time,
Yeah.
it's really easy to slip into that.
Mhm.
But in my own life now, I do a lot more acting. So it's funny, like memorization is also something that you have to practice. And
Yeah.
when you do it a lot, it happens a lot faster. It's really cool.
Mhm. That's awesome. So we'll stick to Phantoms for now, just for a few questions, and then we'll kind of switch gears
Yeah,
into Riverdale and other shows and
sure.
movies you might have done. But with Phantoms, kind of like, what was the most fun or like the funniest thing that's happened while you guys were on set, kind of doing either the dances, or if you were just like with Savannah in one of the scenes or something like that?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm trying to remember. The first thing that comes to mind, and if you ask Tori the same question, I'd be really interested to see what she remembers and like what she said. But the first thing that comes to mind is Tori like split her finger open when we were filming, and she kept having to glue it back together with super glue. Like she Like, she's such a trooper. She's got all of her, oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? She's like assistant choreographer, she's dancing in the show, like she's doing everything. She's on set every day, and she's got this like split open finger that's just like bleeding profusely. She's like, I'm fine. I'll just super glue it back together. So we had like super glue on standby when we were filming. I think it was All Eyes on Me. So that was really funny. And I remember the very first day of rehearsal, I like walked in and Paul was there like juggling oranges. I was like, what?
Well,
What's happening?
yeah, we let Paul do his own thing. You know, Paul, you stay juggling your oranges.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that was just the first thing that came to mind.
Well, we've never heard that story before, but we'll definitely see if Tori remembers it, because that's a shame. So did you kind of expect the reaction and the reception that kind of Phantoms got? And you know, people know you from Phantoms, they obviously know you as well from Riverdale, but you know, fans have kind of adopted you into the fandom. Did you expect that to happen? What was kind of like your reaction to seeing it blow up the way that it did?
Not at all. It's really crazy because, I mean, for me, like, when I was on Once Upon a Time has like a really huge fandom.
Okay.
So when I was on Once Upon a Time a few years ago, that fandom really was really welcoming to me, and they were really amazing. But for Julie and the Phantoms, I expected it to be really big because I just knew, like, there's just this sort of magic when you're creating something like that happens. Like, I don't know, Kenny creates magic. It's true. And so we sort of knew when we were filming it, we're like, this is going to be amazing. Like, this is going to be really big. But I mean, as a dancer on it, like, I wasn't acting, you know, I was there and I was a part of it, but you know, I didn't have a huge role. So I didn't really expect to gain a lot of traction from it. But I get, like, you know, fan edits and like art that everybody does almost every day, and it's incredible how supportive people have been of the show. And it makes me so happy to hear how happy it makes other people. And I mean, even it's like it's brought us together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I do what I do, is just to touch people's lives, right? And I think Julie and the Phantoms has really done that.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
That's awesome. That's I think the cool thing, you know, I've been part of multiple fandoms and multiple fan bases, and I think the cool thing about Julie and the Phantoms is fan bases, it's pretty much a family. Like, we're all friends, we're all happy living together in this lovely world Kenny created for us, and we're just hoping it comes back so that we can have more friends and families to join us, because
right,
we're just waiting.
waiting patiently.
Yeah, honestly. And not so patiently now. It's getting to be a little bit less
right.
patient.
Like, come on.
Yeah. So kind of relating to Phantoms, but this is more on you. If you were to eat a hot dog and die, you as KYRA, what would your unfinished business be? Or what do you think would be your unfinished business?
My unfinished business, I would say, like, I mean, what does this even mean? But like, really, like, making it in the acting world. Like, just like playing my dream role. That would be my unfinished business.
Okay.
And I guess that's sort of like broad, it's not really specific, but like,
you're good.
I don't even know. Maybe being on Broadway. Who knows?
Okay, being on Broadway. Okay, well, when we see you on Broadway or playing your dream role, we will look back at this interview and say, she did it.
Yes, I did it.
Exactly. And kind of another question would be, if you could switch places with anyone on Phantoms, who would that be? And this could be characters, or this could be the cast and crew. So you can decide, or you can do both if you want to do both as well.
Oh, that's a really good question.
It's a hard question, I know. I like to
It is a
stump our
hard
guests.
question. I mean, honestly, like I'm already sort of like in her group, but I think it would be Savannah's character, like Carrie.
Okay.
Like she gets to like we all get to have so much fun. Yeah, I think it would be Carrie, honestly.
Okay. I would love to be Carrie.
Yeah,
I would switch places with Carrie. I'd be like, here you go, Carrie. You can live in my bedroom. I will live in that nice house on the
literally.
road.
Like the mean girl role is just so much fun to play.
I
So
bet.
much fun.
um, so kind of talk about Riverdale. So, Phantoms was filmed in 2019 and pre-COVID, pre all these restrictions, and Riverdale was actually very recently. So definitely there was a difference between how filming was back when you were on Phantoms and how filming was for Riverdale. So tell us a little bit, just kind of like what were some of the things you expected or didn't expect when you went back into filming for a show such as Riverdale?
Right. Well, Riverdale was actually the second project that I did in quarantine. So for Riverdale, I sort of knew what to expect because I had been working already.
Yeah.
It definitely is very different. And it's also different. What I didn't expect actually is how different it is between each film set. So I've done 3 projects within quarantine. So that's 3 different film sets that all sort of operate differently. Um, and so the standard is sort of like you're getting tested 3 times a week. You're always wearing a mask. I mean, that's the main stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't expect it to be like I thought that every film set would sort of have the same procedures, but like when you go onto each different set, it's sort of like a whole new world. Depending on, how super strict they are, or like, sometimes you're wearing a face shield and sometimes you're wearing a mask, and there's certain places you have to wear it and there's certain places like you have to take it off, and it's like, when do you take it off and when do you put it on? It's like a whole thing. But yeah, one thing I definitely didn't expect from COVID is just how hard it is to keep being reminded of it. Like, there's special COVID officers that do their jobs amazingly on set to keep everybody safe, and like they need, like, their jobs are really important, but it also is really taxing to keep hearing like, remember, 6 feet apart, like masks on, masks off all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like you get home and you're just like, ugh, like I wish this pandemic would be over.
Honestly.
So there's that.
Yeah. And kind of like, filming for Riverdale, like what was something fun or like a funny moment that happened when you guys were filming for Riverdale when you were there, when you were on set?
Oh my gosh, that's a really good question. Well, just the guys in general, like we call ourselves next gen, because we're sort of the next gen students at Riverdale High. There's a group of 5 or 6 of us, and we got to be really good friends over the filming of Riverdale. And you see them in the different classrooms and on the football team together, and so we're always goofing around together, and just doing stupid things on time. But actually, one thing that we would always do is we're like, all of us are actors, right? Like none of us actually play sports.
Yeah.
So whenever we had our football right before them, we'd be like, yeah, we love golf. Like golf, like we love the sport of golf. Or like we'd like call a touchdown like just completely the wrong thing, like a basket, or like, and we'd also call the bulldogs the bullfrogs. So we'd be like, go bullfrogs, yeah, golf, all the time. So that was sort of like our on-running bit. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think it's fun when you can find like a group of people that you really connect with on set. Like, I mean, it's with everywhere, like work or life or travel. Like, if you find people that you can connect with and like perform kind of like a let's have a laugh when we need it to break the moment type of thing. Like it's always really good. And I love hearing that, you got the chance to have that. Um, and kind of like segueing off a little bit, like, if someone were to come up to you and tell you, hey, Kira, listen, I'm 14 and I am really wanting to get into this acting industry. What are some advice you would give to this young person who wants to do something like this?
Yeah, the number one thing that I would say is take class. Like if you want to be an actor, find in your city, there's got to be some sort of TV and film on camera acting class, or even if it's not in your city, even, if you live sort of on the outskirts of a city, but you can take it on Zoom. Really like do anything that you can to get into class, because the coaches are there to mentor you, right? And if you're not represented, you don't have an agent and you want to get one, it's a great way to make a connection in the industry, because most coaches are actors, right? So they can connect you with an agent, they can recommend things for you. And I mean, that's definitely what has propelled me to where I am now, is just the classes
Mm-hmm.
that I've been taking and the training
Yeah.
that I do. So yeah, if you keep working hard, like you can be really successful.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And like, I think, see, that the cool thing is that everything you're saying applies to more than just acting. It applies to
Oh,
life.
for sure.
So like, you're always like, I'm a photographer, right? Mel's also a photographer. So for us, it's like, you're never not learning, because there's always new techniques that come out. There's new cameras that come out that you have to learn, new ways
Totally.
of doing anything, right? So it's like, I think what people tend to forget is once you get that role or that job that you want, it doesn't mean you're no longer
Mhm.
learning. You're still,
No, it doesn't stop there.
yeah. And I think it's important, to hear that it's take classes and learn and make mistakes and connect,
Yes,
network, and all of that, because
exactly.
the world forces us to be perfect. The media is like, you
Mhm.
have to have your life put together all the time, otherwise you won't
Yeah.
get to where you want to go. So definitely love that, you've been able to share a little bit of that wisdom. And just one last question before Mel kind of takes over. I just want to ask, like, in the entertainment industry, we tend to, or just life, we tend to kind of compare ourselves to each other, or to, I would love to be where this person is, or man, what is she doing at 18? I'm here at almost 25 and I'm sitting in my parents' bedroom. Um, and like this notion of just comparison and always looking down on yourself. What's kind of just some advice or something that, you have had to learn yourself as you migrated to become more into the acting and entertainment industry and just life in general?
Mhm. Totally. I mean, I think the first thing that comes to mind is this Brene Brown quote that I love, and Brene Brown, she's amazing.
Mhm.
Um, but she says comparison is the thief of happiness. And it's so true. Like everybody is at a different place in their journey, and everybody is where they are for a reason, right? Like I I've worked on some projects recently because I've been working hard for this my entire life.
Mhm.
Right? It's so easy to look at it and go like, "Oh my god, like she's an overnight success," or like it's one audition and you got lucky, but it's like, no, like I worked really hard for this for a really long time.
Mhm.
Like everybody is on their own journey.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to just be kind to yourself. Like we're so young. We have
Yeah.
so much life to live. Like there's so much time for us to do so many incredible things.
Yeah.
Um and I think, everybody's different.
Mhm.
Everybody's on a different journey. Like each journey is so valuable.
Yeah.
Um yeah, it's just important to remember that us as humans are innately like worthy.
Mhm.
Like you just being alive and just being on the earth is enough.
Yeah.
Anything other than that, especially in a pandemic, like you're enough. Just be
Mhm.
kind to yourself. Um yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
It's amazing. I felt like I needed to hear that today, so thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Mel, you can.
Okay. I'm gonna jump into some more questions that didn't really fit any other box. So we're gonna be talking about just fun general questions or like
Woohoo.
a little bit about the future. So the first thing is you do so much as we now learned. How do you balance everything?
That's a good question. I mean, growing up, I was always really busy. I was, doing school full time. Like I wasn't homeschooled. I didn't do the any half day programs. Like I was in French immersion, like regular public school, like so going to school all the time, and then dancing and doing musical theater and doing shows where I'm up till midnight every night because I'm at a show, and then I have to drive home, and then I've got choir in the morning at 7 a.m. and I have to wake up at 6 the next day. Like, so I've always been really used to being busy, so I enjoy that lifestyle, right? Like I love just go, 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 go. But it is really important to just check in with yourself sometimes and just breathe and be like, how am I feeling right now? And what do I need? And I think, yeah, prioritizing yourself is really important. And being able to say no. Like there have been a lot of sacrifices I've had to make, um, to do really well on this audition, or to like, I really want to get this part. Okay, like maybe I can't see my boyfriend tonight even though I really wanted to watch the new episode of this, like, or when it's not COVID, like I really wanted to go and hang out with my friends or do this. And I'm not saying forget about your friends, like no, make time for you, but just understand when it's too much, like
Yeah.
understand your limits.
Hmm.
Yeah, taking time for someone, for yourself is really important.
Mhm.
Especially when, I don't know if you ever get performance anxiety, but with doing so much and having so much on your plate, does performance anxiety ever happen to you?
Oh, for sure. Like, um, it's especially with auditions. Like, if I know that, like, oh my gosh, like this is a really amazing role and I really want it, and like this project is so cool, and like, I can get really nervous before auditions. And after auditions, actually, when you've sent in that tape, and it's just up to the casting directors and fate whether you get it or not. I think I've definitely had to work a lot on just knowing that I'm doing as much as I can, I'm working as hard as I can, and to just be satisfied with that, and to just be confident in who I am and what I'm putting out there. It's hard though. It's really hard because the easiest thing is to just worry all the time, like, oh my God, like was that tape good enough? Like should I have done this here, or done this here, or like, just constantly worrying about how you're going to do. But sometimes you just have to let it be, which is hard for me because I'm a perfectionist, but I'm working on it.
I totally get you. I'm the same with like art. Hannah knows this. So I'm also very like nitpicky about what I do. And if I'm
Yep.
not 100% satisfied, I will not let anybody see it.
Right.
But have you learned anything about yourself in 2020? And have you set any goals for yourself for this year now?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've learned so much about myself. Like I mean, the pandemic, it's funny because like there's so many bad things that have happened because of the pandemic, but then there's also so many silver linings where, I've been forced to like sit with myself and ask myself, what do I really want to do with my life? Like, am I really happy with what um and I don't know, I throughout the pandemic, I think I sort of discovered that like a lot of like the confidence that I have comes from the things that I do and things that I accomplish, which I think that's a lot of people, right? Like, you want to get your to-do list done. You want to accomplish these things and be productive. Otherwise, you feel like you wasted your day or whatever. But I think I'm learning, and I sort of touched on this before, but I'm learning that like no matter what you accomplish in a day or in a week or in a month, that you are still enough. Yeah, and I think that's really important, especially with quarantine. It's like we're not doing as much as we usually would. So it's really easy to feel down on ourselves because we're not accomplishing things. We're not getting that validation the way we normally would be.
Yep.
Because there's just not as many opportunities to. So yeah, I think it's just reminding ourselves that like without accomplishing things and without that validation, without being productive, we are still worthy of love or worthy of self-confidence or whatever it is for you. Yeah.
What are like kind of projects that you're hoping to venture into the coming years? You mentioned Broadway, so
I did. I've always been a musical theater kid, and like ever since I was little, like Broadway has always been my dream. And now I'm focused more on TV and film. I do a lot less musical theater than I used to. So I would say my ultimate dream is to be like the lead in a series or a movie where I can sing, dance, and act. Like that would just be like, oh, dream come true. To be able to do that. Yeah. And I also would love to do like dramas, like a feature film, like, something that really touches people or that's about like a really important subject. I mean, you sort of know the script when you see it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to really affect people." Um but yeah, the musical theater one is probably the biggest.
I love it. Okay, more into like questions that are just like fun and random. If you could switch bodies for someone for an entire day, who would it be and why?
Just with anyone on the entire planet?
Yeah.
Yep. It's a hard one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna say the first thing that came to my mind because
Yep.
that's probably gonna be what I choose anyways. Um, Miley Cyrus.
Okay.
Hannah Montana was my entire childhood. Like I was obsessed with it. And I even loved her like after Hannah Montana, like even when she went through like her bangers phase where she like, she was like going through it. I have loved her like ever since I was like 6. And honestly, if I hadn't seen Hannah Montana when I was little, I don't know if I'd be doing this like today. It just inspired me so much. And I guess that's part of the reason why I want to do this too. Is I want to be that for like little me's, little Kira's in the world. Like I want to be like, the Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana that inspires those little young artists to, do what they do. I also just think she's like so cool and like she has such a great voice. Like I would just sing and like be cool for the whole day. I don't know.
Incredible answer. Another question that I think is really fun and says a lot about a person. If you could choose one song to play every single time you enter a room for the rest of your life, what song would you choose and why?
Oh my goodness. That's so hard.
I know.
Because I'm trying to think of like the songs that make me like so happy and that like I'll never get tired of. It would probably be really appropriate to say like a Hannah Montana song.
I mean, when I hear Best of Both Worlds, I just jump and start dancing. So I don't blame you.
Oh,
I don't blame you.
I know. And also to like, actually, that's such a good one. Cause like, imagine walking into a room. Every time you walk into a room, you just hear doom, 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 doom. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You just feel most person alive. So
Yeah.
that's going to be my answer. Best of
Love
both
it.
worlds.
Yeah. As it should be. As it should be. I did want to know, do you know Enneagrams? Like, are you into Enneagrams or personality types or anything like that?
What is an Enneagram? I've heard that before. What
So
is it?
there are 9 types of personalities pretty much. And you take this test and it kind of tells you which type you are, but this is less of like career and leadership type of test. It's more of like emotive and just character traits that you have. So I'm just like, I was listening to you say some things. I'm like, I can connect with you because I'm the same. I'm like the busy girl. I calendar everything that I do. Like my calendar
Right?
color coordinated, and if it
Yeah.
doesn't go on my calendar, it's not there.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm
Love
also
it.
very social, and I love seeing
Yeah.
people, and I do 7 things at the same time. So I'm like, I'm very curious to know if she's the same Enneagram as me. But
Oh my
um,
gosh. I would love to know. I mean, I don't know, but
okay,
like I love that stuff. Like personality quizzes and like especially in middle school, like all the BuzzFeed quizzes, like those are my jam.
I'm really into it. I'm not a big like horoscope person, but I think
Yeah.
personality types and love languages and those like I feel like I can learn so much about a person through that. So I have kind of that's what I stumbled into in quarantine. I'm like, ooh, what's your love language? And oh my god, mine
Yeah,
too, type of thing. So
that's so fun. Oh my gosh, I did this one like personality test and I don't know, it's like a really official one and I'm trying to remember what it's called.
the one with the four letters.
Okay, wait. Let me see. Uh no, not compatibility.
Is it the 16 personalities test?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember. 16 personalities. Yeah, that one.
Yes, yeah. I love that one. Which one are
Oh my
you?
gosh. I'm a campaigner.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. I'm an entertainer, so
Aw.
What was mine again?
you were the mediator.
That's it.
Aw. Yeah.
She's the mediator. She likes to just, she stays quiet but speaks up when she needs to. I love it. Awesome. Well, Kira, thank you so much for joining us. We had a blast with you. And
Thank you
we
for
got to
having
hear you
me.
sing, which I'm like always, I love hearing people sing. Yeah, so thank you so much for just coming on and taking the time to chat with us and give us motivational TED Talks. I love them.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing, and we're just super thankful to have met you and to just be able to connect on something deeper than just COVID and quarantine.
And that's girl stuff.